Doesn't hurt to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, he owns a real estate company, and his family owns like the office park that's right there. And one of the spots opened up. The aunt and uncle bought it. Him and I have talked about like a hot dog shop, for years since I met him. So now he's like, listen, this place is perfect. There's a drive-through window. I don't know if it used to be maybe a dry cleaners. Needs some work, but I said, you know what? I'll take a look. It can't hurt to take a look.
No.
So it's the only reason I would have done it tomorrow, but
no problem.
We're good though. Let's see what we got here.
We're good.
I got a baseball update from my team. This will be the last one, likely. I guess there'll be one more. We have the last game on Saturday. We have the NFL stuff. Then you got a Jets-Giants question.
I do.
Then we got college football. Then we have our best bets. Then we have quick World Series and 86s.
This is actually perfect, dude, because it's like it wasn't a great week last week for reviews, and this week's not that great of a slate. So
yeah,
we should be fine.
We'll be good.
Yeah, so I'm going to the Alamo Park game got moved to tonight, so at 6:00.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why it's fucking a little hectic here.
Yeah, no problem. Let me press record and we'll get this show on a roll.
Perfect.
We're live here. We're going there. Let that go for a couple seconds.
All right,
here we go. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bump and Run. I'm Pete Coliseano, joined as always by the man, Scott Bracey. What's going on, dude?
Good afternoon, buddy. How are you?
Oh man, I shouldn't be this good. It should be a crime to be this good. Going to a big game today?
Yeah, the old stomping grounds, Elmwood Park, 6-0, playing in a playoff game. It's a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a watered down division, but it's a watered down division. They kind of, what happened?
I was just saying, who are they playing against?
Powell Park, Leonia.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, they have, it is night and day from when you were here. The schedule and stuff. But no, listen, it's good. It keeps the kids playing and invested and stuff like that. So, and a buddy of mine and an ex-player of yours is the coach. And one of
very happy he's doing well. Yeah, glad he's doing well. Good to hear. It's about time. About time somebody had some success there. It's good. Listen, let me give you a quick update on Peter Richards' baseball team that I coached with him. We had a nice game on Saturday. We gave some guys an extra shot at pitching. They did very well. Gave one kid a chance. He's been begging me. Such a nice boy. I'm not, I never name names, but he's a really nice kid. Now, usually what's funny is I can't stand, and my players know, like, don't ask me to play positions. Don't ask me who's going to pitch. Don't ask me who's going to. I set up the first inning, and then I don't know what's coming the rest of the game. But I just hate, like, can I do this? Can I go in a second? When we're at practice just yesterday, some of the kids were like, can we do batting press? I go, now that you asked, no. Like, now we're going to do laps. Like,
you're such a dick.
I might be. But don't ask me. I just don't like it.
You're fucking 12 years old, Coach.
Listen, grow up. Anyway. But this one kid is such a nice boy. He never complains. He always shows up. He's always there, does well, tries really hard. And he's like, you think I could pitch today? I'm like, you know what? I'll see what happens. I'll see what I can do. So we're winning the game, pretty handily. Things were going our way. And we pitched really well up until then. So we played 5 innings. We had 5 different pitchers. Things were going pretty smooth. I felt comfortable and gave a bunch of kids a chance that normally didn't get a chance. So he comes in there in the last inning. 1, 2, 3 outs. Now he's not throwing particularly hard, so they hit it. But we actually made plays in the field and got the 3 outs, and it was beautiful. So a lot of guys got a chance to play different positions that they don't always get to play. So it was nice. It was good. So we had a nice practice yesterday. I told him beforehand. I said, listen, I think we're 11-1 at this point, 10-1 or 11-1. I don't know what the hell it is. It doesn't matter. I said, you guys, I'm really proud of you. You've come a long way. We've done exactly what we wanted to do, which was, work hard, learn to compete and improve on our skills. I said, let's have a great practice today because it would be a real shame to have come this far and then to lay an egg on Saturday. So we'll see. We got one more game on Saturday. I feel pretty confident about it, but it's been a great year. And
good.
And look, it's all about it's all winning to me. Winning and losing is why we play. but fall ball's for the improvement, get them reps, get them, a chance to play more, get out there and play. And you could really see pretty much every kid has gotten better. And that's maybe the most important. Maybe it's the most. It's the second most important thing.
You are the buttermaker of fall baseball, my friend.
On that note, why don't we get to some NFL? What were some of the interesting games from last week?
Last Thursday night, Baltimore goes into Tampa Bay and beats them. Tampa Bay's defense has abandoned them now. This is they got a lot of videos now of guys being lazy and moping around now. That's not a good scene there in Tampa Bay.
Isn't it funny? Bruce Arians, who was an alpha male, steps down or was forced to step down, or Tom Brady made him step down. I don't know what the deal was of how that went down, but isn't it funny that the alpha of the team, the one guy that was able to stand up to Tom Brady, at least seemingly stand up to him, he's gone, and now the team looks soft. I'm not saying it's all because of that. They're missing some pieces for sure. But this is not a great football team right now. I look and I say, what do they do really good? What does Tampa do good? Do they run the ball really well? No. Do they throw the ball really well? No. Do they play defense really well? Not particularly.
Do they block well? No. Do they tackle well? No.
Yeah, and at some point, as Bill Parcells would say, you are what your record says you are. Mm-hmm. Right? Like so, and then you throw on top of it the whole Tom and Giselle stuff that's been going on over the last course of a year, whatever it is, and that hasn't helped. So this is a strange football team, strange season for them. I don't know. Do you get the sense that this will be the last year for Brady if this is how it's going to go? Or is it just the last year in Tampa?
I got to be honest with you. Now that he's divorced, I think he might play for fucking 2-3 more years. I got to tell you, I know you know more about the quarterback position than I do, but I'm no slouch. He looks okay to me. I
agree.
The offensive line's, not great. He definitely misses Gronk. But Evans has let him down. They can't. Julio Jones is never on the field. He's hurt every fucking
we
week.
Knew that. Everybody was jacking off about the fact that Julio Jones was going to be on this team, and you and I were like, Where have you guys been for 2 years? This guy is toast. He's done.
They almost should have kept Cole Beasley around more. The guy's got.
I think it was him. He wanted out.
Oh, he knew something before anyone else.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Everything I see from Tom Brady. Look, Tom Brady has some needs. The fact is, but these are not new needs. The needs that he has are the same he's always has, which is he needs a relatively clean pocket. And what that really means more than anything is he needs room to step up. He doesn't care if heat comes from the outside because he can feel that step up in a pocket and throw. But when it's coming in his face, he doesn't go laterally very, very well. So that causes a problem with him, and that's what's happening for them. And so he has nowhere to step and throw, and it's messing them up. But yeah, I agree with you. Dude, he still has a cannon. He still makes great decisions. Yeah. And my sense is, so this is more TMZ than it is sports, but what I heard today was that they both have pretty much like ironclad prenuptial agreements going into this wedding. And what that really means more than anything, as far as we're concerned, is that this divorce should probably be over relatively quickly.
Yeah.
As far as we'll say like famous divorces go. That could be a good thing. Like get it over with, get it in the rearview mirror. And then, maybe he's got 2 more years in the tank because I don't see any difference from Tom Brady now from when he was 38. He still throws the ball just as hard, and if he can get that in the rearview mirror, I see no reason why he couldn't play for another 2 years. So
yeah, and I think you said something last week. I think that's dead on after watching that game last week. Bowles is a coordinator, not a coach.
Correct.
There's just no doubt in my mind.
I think he's a really good man, by the way. I think he's a really good person.
I agree with you.
He was asked, now this is getting into it a little bit. He was asked a few weeks ago about the idea of like black coaches, and he says, maybe if you guys stopped asking it wouldn't be such a big deal anymore.
Well, dude,
like, what a good
he handled that so well.
He's handled, there's been a couple things. Now, listen, he's been thrown into a shitty situation because he took over a successful team that is not successful. How much of that is on him? I don't know. This is a very different team. You mentioned the receivers. There's not a lot of speed. The receivers are not particularly healthy.
Yeah.
They've been dropping balls. There's been issues.
But and not only is Gronk out, then he loses Cameron Brate, so he's got really no tight end throw to. So.
There's been major problems this year.
Yeah.
But I think he's a good guy. I like him as a person. And yeah, I think he's a really good coordinator, as he's shown over the last couple of years. It's just, as we've said, or as I've certainly have said, you need an alpha as the head coach. And he's just not. He's a pretty soft-spoken guy. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
But that just means you're not really built for being a head coach in the NFL. That's all.
This is going to be a humbling experience for you right now. You have to take a seat, and your boy Derek Carr and the Raiders. My goodness gracious, what is going on? As no secret, I'm not a McDaniels fan, but I didn't see it like this. Whew.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not watching these whole games, and I'm not watching them from a perspective of like what's going wrong per se.
There's score 0 points. There's a lot wrong.
There's definitely something going wrong, and frankly, right now, I'm going to put this more on McDaniel because whatever you want to say about Derek Carr, wherever you think he lands on the pantheon of quarterbacks that are in the NFL right now, it's not last. Okay, whether you think he's 9 or 10, 12 or 13, you're not going past 15, so he's at least middle of the pack.
That's
Zero?
Yeah, in the NFL now, that's insane, dude.
Devontae Adams gets 3 yards in reception. Like
it's
who has the track record? What are the Derek Carr has a track record for throwing touchdowns and not interceptions, throwing for lots of yards, high completion percentage. And McDaniel has a reputation of not being a really good head coach. I'm sorry, he has done really well as the offense coordinator for New England, and has looked poorly in everything else he's done.
Mm-hmm.
So for now, until I see something different, I'm kind of putting this on McDaniel. I expected a little more. I got it when he was with Denver, new, young, didn't have lots of weapons. You had Tim Tebow, which was his decision, by the way. Then the whole Colts thing. Now you're seasoned. You've been around. You know this league. You're supposed to be like that offensive guru. There's no goo in this roux, whatever that means.
That's pretty good. One bad quarterback to another. Eesh. Zach Wilson.
Oh, dude. It's funny because what was bad? 3 interceptions, right? And frankly, low completion percentage. I think he
does not look comfortable at all.
One throw under 50% completion. He also threw for 350 something yards.
Fourth quarter was kind of a little bit of
whatever. It counts. We don't do that for other quarterbacks. They count. Did you do that for Justin Fields this week when he threw for 150 yards?
We didn't get there yet.
We didn't get there yet. So dude. This is a very complete team outside of quarterback. They can run the football. They play exceptional defense. And I may get into this a little more later. But Zach is a problem. Even Robert Saleh is less of a problem at this point because he has now left his stamp on this team. Physical, emotional, pound the ball, be physical on defense. Like, it's one game. The last couple games before that, he wasn't terribly productive, but he wasn't throwing a lot of interceptions. So one interception in particular in this game was atrocious. Like, it's the kind of interception you would see in a high school game. I'll even give him a pass on the one that was supposed to go out of bounds. I've seen that happen before. At least the decision itself was to throw that ball out of bounds, which I'm okay with. It just was poorly executed. There was one where he missed the receiver. He overthrew a receiver by, I don't know, 10, 15 yards, like over his head. Like the guy was standing like it wasn't a curl route, but it was, imagine a curl route and you throw it over his head 10 yards and it goes 20 yards behind him. That's the kind of stuff. It's got to be cleaned up. I don't know anymore. I haven't totally given up, but I certainly have my doubts now. I have my doubts, but then you see him do other things and you're like, Jesus Christ. But this is where we were with Sam Darnold a lot of times. This is almost the exact same place as we were with Sam Darnold, except Sam Darnold had no talent around him. And a lot of times he was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Zach Wilson doesn't have that excuse. They actually have a decent running game. They actually have some decent receivers. He's got exceptional tight end.
Yeah.
It doesn't have those excuses that Sam did, to be honest with you. It's the same thing. Bad decision. Unbelievable throws, followed by really atrocious decisions. That's the difference between being just a feasible quarterback in the NFL and a backup. Like, this is, you're turning yourself into a backup. Unacceptable.
Eagles 7-0, my friend.
Yeah, this is a pretty complete team, dude. And I will tell you this also. I've said for years, I really don't see until this year, and even now, he's kind of reverting back to who we always thought he was with Lamar Jackson. Like everybody's, he's getting better every year, passing the ball. Nah, I don't see it. I do see it with Jalen Hurts. Like he is a dangerous passer now. Now maybe they don't make him do what they try to get, Aaron Rodgers to do, or what we try to get Joe Burrow to do. But what he does, dude, high completion percentage. He's very dangerous. There were 2 balls to A.J. Brown that were touchdowns that he put on the outside shoulder with decent coverage, pretty good coverage.
Beautiful.
But he put it right over the outside shoulder. A.J. Brown made great catches on both. Those are professional throws, dude. We were just talking about Zach Wilson. Those are the throws I watched Zach Wilson make in college, which is what I fell in love with that I'm not seeing now. Yeah. But I am seeing from Jalen Hurts. He is a dangerous thrower of the football. So this is as complete a team as there is in the NFL. There are no weaknesses. There are things they're better at than others, but there are no weaknesses.
So I'm sure you do as well as I do. I have a lot of Cowboy buddies, a lot of Giant buddies. I want to see Philly. I hope they stay healthy because we're on record saying we like Hurts a lot. We both loved how Sirianni handled things after the disaster press conference.
By the way, he's a lot better behind the mic now.
Yeah, he is.
He's excellent.
He might have got some coaching or something there.
I don't care.
I don't either. No. I'm not
really. He's actually a great post game guy now.
I'm not making fun of him for it. I'm giving him props for it. Yeah. Brandon Graham's one of my favorite Michigan players. He's still hanging around there. So I want to see Philly stay healthy and see what they can do with this year because they have
better than the Cowboys.
They have a really good team, dude.
Yeah, that's a really good team. They're better than the Cowboys. They're definitely better than the Giants.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're going to beat them. I'm just saying they're better than them. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
I got breaking news real quick. 2 things. 2 NFL players out for the year.
Boy.
Both wide receivers, and you're going to love the one because we called this for a year and a half. Michael Thomas out for the year. Dude.
ACL?
Toe.
Dude.
And the other one is Rashad Bateman, wide receiver for the Ravens, and now that's another weapon taken away from Lamar.
Lamar can't catch a break over there.
That's nuts.
Yeah, we're right. We've been on that Michael Thomas stay away train for a while now. Somebody will give him a chance. I don't know. Did they just give him an extension? I feel like they just recently gave him an extension once he came back.
That would be bad.
Yeah, good luck with that.
One more for me, dude. We'll move on to this week. The Seattle Seahawks are 5-3.
Let me ask you something. Be honest.
Go ahead. I know where you're going to go. Go ahead.
I don't think you do. All
right.
I don't say he can win. He's going to win it, or I would give it to him. But is Geno Smith at least an MVP candidate?
So you got to give him a candidate. I agree with you, but he's probably.
I could pick 3 guys ahead of him.
But I was just going to say he's a distant 4th.
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen,
Jalen Hurts.
I'd have to think about that. Because I look at what he's doing with his team as compared to what Jalen Hurts is doing with his team. Like Jalen Hurts is surrounded by fantastic players. I don't see that.
Lockett and Metcalf are not slouches, brother.
No. I meant like as a whole team. I meant a whole team because Seattle's defense is not very good. Whereas,
but who knew the NFC West was going to stink? Just like the AFC West.
But this is what I'm saying. It's amazing. Like this before the season. Like I'll give you this. Before the season started, there were people that were picking the Eagles to win their division. So it's not like a terrible surprise that they're there.
That's a good point.
Seattle was expected to be in last. Now, there's lots of reasons why, but the real reason why, the reason they have hope, the reason why they come into these games like playing hard, is because they went from thinking they had no quarterback to thinking they have a legitimate quarterback. Let's keep it real. This team plays hard because they're like, oh shit, Geno can play. And let me tell you something, Geno can freaking sling it, dude. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's making really good decisions, pinpoint throws. I'm genuinely blown away. And you want to talk about a good guy? Did you see him in his press conference this week?
Yep.
When I guess it was after the game, right? When a reporter had asked him to just feel like revenge for you, and he said, "No, they gave me a chance when nobody else would." He says, "You know what? Like I dedicate this game to the GM and the head coach for giving me a chance when nobody else would." I was like, okay, like you're just a ridiculously classy act. Like, holy shit.
And another thing about Geno Smith too that I like, and again, like if, people might think I'm salty with him because of Russell Wilson. No, he has nothing to do with that. But
no.
Remember on draft day, he was supposed to be like a top 5 pick.
Didn't go to second round, right?
Second round, sat there the whole time.
Yeah.
Something to say about that, dude.
No, it's really cool. That's why I asked you, like, is he at least a candidate? I almost just want him to. You know what's funny is what's crazy is Russell Wilson was there for 10 years or whatever it was, never got a single MVP vote. How just absurd. How absurd would it be for Geno Smith to get an MVP vote?
And you know,
if they win that division, he deserves some votes.
And people might vote for him just to give it to Russell Wilson because I don't think Russ was very well liked out there. It's starting to come out.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It's starting little by little to come out. Like he wasn't as beloved as their Go Hawks.
And you know what's funny too? Like some of his old buddies are starting to
chirp a little.
Yeah, Sherman.
It's funny how they keep their mouth shut when you're great, and then as soon as you struggle,
I don't love that either.
I don't need to stay quiet anymore. I believe it though. I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it too. He's a fucking weirdo, dude. It's Broncos did no research with this fucking guy.
Do you feel better? Do you feel better about the way they played in the second half in England?
I do, but you got to take it with a grain of salt. It's one half. It's the Jaguars. It's London. It's a lot of weird shit.
Yeah,
but it made my Sunday better. I'll tell you that much.
For sure.
All right, bro. Week 9.
What do we got?
I'm putting this one down because I think this game is starting to get it's a little juicy for me. You might not agree, but hear me out. The Dolphins at the Bears. The Bears look like they have a pulse of the sun on offense. However, they just traded their 2 best defensive players. So I don't know what they're doing.
Do they look like they have a pulse?
Well, dude, the first couple of weeks they scored field goals. They were getting shut out. I mean, it's better than what it was.
I guess it's all relative, right? Like if you compare,
I didn't say they're a juggernaut. I said pulse.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like people, I watched the sports talk shows, and they're like, Justin Fields might be the real deal. First of all,
I know I saw that too.
They got smashed this weekend. It wasn't even close.
By the way, good call on your pick. That was your lone winner.
That's my only one. I don't want to talk about that right now.
Yeah, I didn't do well either.
He threw for 150 yards, folks. He threw for 150 yards. Anybody else in this league? I had to listen to people 2 weeks ago tell me that Zach Wilson was a piece of shit because he only threw for 150 yards with a touchdown in a win. He just lost 49-29, and it wasn't even that close. This game was never even that close. This was a no-doubter, folks. And I got to listen to, I don't understand the desire, the need, I don't know what it is to have Justin Fields be good. Why can't you just report what you see? He stinks. He's a really, really good athlete. Well, they finally figured out how to use him. What, like Little League? You can't keep him in the pocket. We got to roll him out or run the ball. Do you hear yourself? Does anybody hear themselves when they're talking about they finally figured out how to use him? You know what I mean? They put him in the wing tee.
Yeah, really.
You're happy about that because the kid clearly still can't do the things that quarterbacks in this league do. Everybody's the league is changing. The league is changing. Dude, look at the leagues. Look at the teams that are in first place and tell me that the league is changing. It's not. It's Josh Allen. Even Tua hasn't lost the game that he started and finished. He ain't no runner. It's Pat Mahomes. It's San Francisco with Jimmy Garoppolo, not with the running quarterback. It's the Rams. It's Geno Smith, who's a passer. Stop it. It's all about throwing the ball. And if you can't win with any kind of consistency. What do you mean? They might be a 500 team 2 years from now? Stop it.
I'd like to apologize to the audience for bringing this game up. I didn't know this was going to.
It's just absurd. Watch with your eyes. Watch what's happening. It's Little League shit.
On the other side of the ball, Dolphins are 5-0.
Fields, I'm embarrassed by the people who analyze. That's what I'm talking about. Your desire, your need, because you all thought he was going to be a star, and you have to kind of keep this thing going. Like, oh, they figured out how to use him for 150 yards? Dude, come on. God, I'm sorry.
On the other side of the sideline, The Dolphins are 5-0 with Tua. Defense didn't play well. They went out and traded for Bradley Chubb and already gave him a contract extension.
We knew that.
I am thrilled about that, by the way. As a Bronco fan, I am very happy about that. We got a first pick back.
Yeah, I thought it was a hefty price to pay for a guy who's on pace to have 11 sacks. That's why I had texted you, like, what kind of production are we looking at? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it seems like a high price and low return. When he's on the field, looks good, but he's banged up a lot. So I don't know. Yeah. But go ahead. I don't have a pick for that game. I don't have a bet later, so I could tell you, like, I think Miami's going to roll. And here's why. It's early in the season. If this game was in December, maybe I'd have a little more issues with it.
I totally agree with that.
The weather's still nice. It's going to be in the 70s this weekend. Like, I think that, the weather isn't going to be a factor. It could have been a factor to a smaller hands, cold weather, slick ball in December. That's an issue. But right now, none. I think
real quick question before we move on. Chase Claypool make any difference in the Bears offense?
Not anytime soon.
Okay.
Not anytime soon. No, okay. I think he's a B+ receiver anyway. B to B+ receiver. I don't think he's an A+ or an A receiver, any type of A, even an A-. I think he's a B+ receiver. So
I think that's even a little high. I think maybe
it might be. And in the end, if the quarterback doesn't read it right, I mean, if you're just going to send him on go routes, Justin Fields can do that. Drop back, throw it as far as you can, let the guy go get it. I mean, yeah, I can get a kid out of high school to do that though. Right. How many times can you do that in a game?
Right.
Claypool ain't that guy.
One team we love to pick on, the LA Chargers.
Yeah.
Go to Atlanta and play the 4-4 Falcons. That scrappy 4-4 Falcon team. I gotta tell you,
they got a little lucky last week. Let's be honest.
They did. They
got a little lucky. They got
a moronic decision by DJ Moore.
PJ, the quarterback.
PJ Walker.
Dude, he threw that ball like 68 yards through the air.
Yeah,
that thing went a long ways, but he had But we've been saying this for a couple weeks now. Arthur Smith has done a pretty damn good job with not a lot of talent there. Mariota does enough. They run the ball enough. They're always in games. They're always in games.
Drive to drive, Mariota looks like two different people.
Yes. Well, because he's that. That's kind of what he is. Like sometimes he's really good and sometimes he's bad.
It's so the other end of the spectrum.
So stark. Yeah.
It's crazy. Chargers all banged up. I don't know what to expect out of this game. I have no.
Well, that's the other thing, right? We don't like their head coach. It seems like they got like a governor on Herbert, and they don't let him push the ball down the field.
Yeah.
Plus, you got receivers out. It's like which means they're probably going to win by 20. They're a hard team to figure out, dude.
Yeah. Let's go to your neck of the woods, the Buffalo Bills, maybe the best team in the league or top 3 at least. Play your New York Jets.
I would say Buffalo is the second best team in the league. I know they beat the Chiefs, but I still think the Chiefs are a better team. This is a weird game to me. I may have a little something to say about this one later on during the pick segment.
Really?
But what I will tell you, I'll give you a little prelude to what we'll talk about later.
A little appetizer?
What people may not understand going into this game. The Jets have 3 quarterbacks ranked in the top 15 in PFF cornerback rankings. Corner, not quarter. Corner defensive back. 2 of them in the top 10. Sauce Gardner is, I think, the 3rd. And DJ Reed, who people don't even know who he is, 7th or 8th. I think it was 7th highest rated corner in the entire damn league. Dude, they got 2 top 10 corners starting. And what does Buffalo do best? What do? They throw the ball. Yeah. So, it looks bad. Probably will be bad. But that's one area where the Jets may match up.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't have a feel about this game as a spread thing. I think the Bills win it, but I think it's a high number.
I'm a little worried for the Jets. They're a little banged up still, but I know they got the bye week next week. And I think as a team and as an organization, they're looking forward to the bye week because after the bye week, they get like 3 or 4 players back. And
your schedule's not that bad. I know you play New England out of the gate again, but after that, I think.
Yeah, but I think they could beat New England. So, I'm a little concerned that they get caught. Look, this is so bizarre, but you get caught looking forward to like getting to the bye week to catch a break, catch your wind, get some players back, restart the engine. Yeah, so that could be a little scary because Buffalo's rolling. I mean, they're rolling. They're Josh Allen is just crazy.
The 3-4 Rams at the 3-5 Buccaneers. Who would have thought about that?
They both stink right now, although I think the Rams stink less. Cooper Kupp got a little banged up last week.
He did. You want to talk about respect? That whole Niner team came out there to see if he was all right.
Yeah, I mean
that's
good
cool.
Dude too.
Yeah, that's good shit.
I always like that kind of stuff because we all recognize I'm thinking as a player and then as a coach, we all recognize the just viciousness of this sport. It's it's not a contact sport. It's a collision sport. It's very violent. It's really hard. And it's not like basketball violent where there's different heights, but everybody more or less has the same build.
Yeah.
So, taller guys are taller, shorter, but they're all kind of slender basketball players,
I love how you were going to say shorter guys are shorter, taller guys are
you know what I'm saying? Like there's different heights,
it's
but
so
more or less.
Way,
how about this way? Different heights, but more or less the same width on everybody, right? Whereas football, the drastic difference in sizes, Tua is getting tackled by some guys that are literally like 150 pounds heavier than him. It's scary shit. So yeah, there's this. I think we all are trying to put a sting on somebody else when you're playing, but then when you hurt somebody, you're like, damn, man, that could be me. Because it's not just the hit, it's the way you got twisted, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I like to see that. Nobody wants to see anybody else get hurt. But as far as the game, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
we said it before. Tampa is, I just don't know what they do good. Say what you want about the Rams, they still play pretty decent defense. So I don't know. Maybe the Rams is the pick here. Maybe I should go write that one down. I just talked myself into the Rams. I might have. Where's that game?
Tampa.
Yeah. I never like those Western teams coming east. Always scares me. For a 1:00 game?
I think so.
Yeah.
No, it might be 4:00.
Is it a 4? There's only 2 4:00 games this week.
There's a ton of buys this week.
I think that's one of them, actually.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the 4:00s. So they get a little break on it being a 4:00 game. Yeah, I like the Rams. I'm writing that one down.
The Sunday Nighter? 5-2 Titans. They won 5 in a row.
Dude, they do this to us every year.
It's unbelievable. Vrabel is he's fantastic.
Every year.
5-2 at the 5-2 Chiefs. Chiefs coming off a bye? Yeah,
yep.
They are. Chiefs coming off a bye.
You do not bet against Andy Reid coming off a bye. This goes back to his Philadelphia days. You just don't do it. It's not wise. It never works. He's got like an 80% winning percentage coming off the bye. Yeah, man, I was thinking about this like as I'm watching that game and I'm looking at the record. I'm like, how did he do this? Who did they lose to for like first game? Didn't they lose first game of the season? We were like, oh,
to the Giants.
That's right. We're like, finally they're done. And here they are 5-2, like fighting for first place in the AFC. Like, likely going to win their division. Like, it's crazy. You're right. Vrabel's a good coach. Maybe one of the more underrated coach. Mike Vrabel is the Gundy. What the hell is the
Mike Gundy?
Vrabel is the Mike Gundy of the NFL. Like, he's just underrated. They just fly under the radar. Now they perform poorly in the playoffs. But and they got Tannehill as their quarterback, but I think they threw the ball 10 times last week. 10 times with the rookie quarterback.
It's insane.
Yeah, and won the game relatively handily.
Monday night.
Be careful if they really are getting that running game going, because
I know
it's what they want to do, and it takes the air out of the ball, shortens the game, keeps the ball out of Pat Mahomes' hands. Could be interesting. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I know you had more on that. My bad. Monday night. Baltimore Ravens at the New Orleans Saints, and I will have something to say about this game in a little while.
You do? Yeah, you just brought up a point. They just lost another wide receiver. Saints play pretty darn good defense, dude. Mm-hmm. They play pretty. I don't know that they're shutout worthy defense, but it's a pretty damn good defense. And hey, I'm going to throw this out at you, folks. Andy Dalton's playing pretty goddamn good. Okay, say what you want. He's playing pretty good, putting up pretty decent numbers. I know 2 weeks ago he had those back-to-back interceptions that went for 6. But you look at his numbers, he's doing pretty good. He's doing better than Jameis Winston is. So they're a dangerous team. That's a dangerous team. That's an interesting game.
Yeah, I agree.
It's fascinating to see where you take that one.
You ready for a question I have for you, sir?
I would love this. What do you got for me?
All right, you are a Jets fan, a big-time Jets fan.
Indeed.
I am in the backyard of the Jets and Giants where they play football. As today, and we're halfway through the year about, if you had to pick one, hear me out. Do the Jets and Giants both make the playoffs? Do they both miss the playoffs? Do the Jets go and Giants sit home? Or do the Giants go and do the Jets sit home? If you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, I'm going to say
take your Jets underwear off for this question, obviously.
Yeah. If I had to pick one, I would say neither makes the playoffs.
Interesting.
I don't think either one's going to make the playoffs because I think they're both short of quarterback.
Wow. Okay.
I look around the league and I say, who are the teams that they have to beat out? I think the Giants are in a better position right now. I'll put it to you that way.
I agree with that.
But I think, listen, I don't think there's going to be 3 teams out of the NFC East that make it. And I think Philadelphia and Dallas are both better than them and will finish better than them. I think San Fran makes it. I'm trying to look like who are the NFC teams? You're going to have Minnesota.
I'm going to give you both schedules here. Let's see what we got. I know your schedule's easier, but that doesn't necessarily mean
not by much.
All right, the New York.
By the way, while he's looking that up, let me remind everybody you can catch us on YouTube live on Thursdays, usually around 3:30. Today was 4:15. I posted on Facebook plenty of times you can watch us live, but you can even catch the video afterwards on YouTube at BNR Clips. BR capital B little N capital R BNR Clips on YouTube. And of course, you can always catch the podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, all the places that you catch the podcasts out there. You can find ours, which, let's be honest, as far as sports goes, it's the best one going.
So, you're right. This schedule's not as easy as I thought it was at the beginning of the year. So, you got a Buffalo, bye, then Patriots. Home against the Bears. We should win that one.
Should.
At the Vikings, at the Bills, I think that's going to be
tough
ask.
Yeah.
Lions home, fuck knows where they're going to be.
Should be
at
a win.
Point. Jacksonville home, could be a pain in the ass.
Should be a win.
At Seattle, it's a bad game.
Tough.
And then at Miami to close things out. After you beat them already, they could be playing for a playoff spot as well. That's going to be a tough one.
If they beat Seattle and lose to that game is in Miami, right?
Yeah.
If they beat Seattle, beat the Jags, beat the Bears, that puts them at like 8 wins. And if they beat New England, that gives them 9. It's 9 and 8. And I don't think they make the play. I don't think they make the playoffs in the AFC with 9 and 8.
AFC, well, you got Chiefs, Titans, Dolphins, Bills, maybe Chargers. I don't know, man. The Bengals losing the night to the Browns was a huge loss.
Yeah, but you got Cincinnati and Baltimore.
Cincinnati looked horrible the other night. I mean,
they don't look worse than the Jets. They got Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
they'll get Jamar Chase back.
That's fair.
Yeah, who would you rather be right now, the Jets or Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
Do you want to play Buffalo one more time and 2 more times, and New England one more time, and Miami one more time? Or do you want to play the Browns, the Steelers, and a banged up Baltimore team? That's just in your division.
You're right.
So who do Giants have?
Giants schedule, bye week now. Home versus Texans.
Should be a win.
Home versus Lions.
Should win.
At Cowboys,
that gives them 7 right there. That's 7 wins right there, right?
That gives them 8 wins.
Oh, 8. They're 6 wins right now?
Yeah, they're 6-2, Coach.
Jesus. Go ahead.
At Dallas, Thanksgiving, I'll give them a loss there. Home versus the Commanders.
That's a toss-up. I'll let you know closer right now because Commanders are playing better, and that team loves Taylor.
I know they fucking do. And then he proved them right the other day too. What he did, bringing them back down at the end of the game.
Yes,
he proved
them right. So that's a toss-up.
At the
I'm
Eagles,
not saying it's a loss. I'm not saying it's a win, but it's a real toss-up.
At the Eagles, no, home versus the Eagles. Home versus the Eagles.
I'm still gonna say it's a loss. The Eagles are way better.
Then at the Commanders again. I hate that fuck. I hate when they do
another toss-up. So let's just say they go 1-1 with the Commanders. I mean, give them 1 win, 1 loss. That's fair.
So that's 9.
Are they at 9? Okay.
At the Vikings.
I think it should be a loss. I'm not going to say it's an automatic loss, but it should be a loss.
Home versus the Colts. They could win that one.
They definitely can win that one. Should it be a win?
That's 10, dude.
I don't know if it should be a win. It probably should be a win.
With Sam Ellinger at quarterback, that should be a win, dude.
That gives him 10?
That gives him 10.
Is that the last game?
No, then they play at Philly to end it, and Philly could be sitting guys too. Who knows? I don't know what the situation's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them at 10-7. Does 10-7 get them in?
It might. It might. You're going to get one from the West.
You don't know that. You could get 3 from the West.
Can you?
You could.
Maybe.
You could get the Rams, Seattle, and San Francisco.
I don't think. I think you get 2. I don't think you get 3. I think you can get 2.
It's possible though,
dude. The Vikings are running away with the North. The Packers still losing games. That they stink. And then the South.
There's a possibility of them. I'll take my chances with Green Bay making a run at the end of the season.
Let's get late early, brother.
It is. This is true. This is true.
All right.
You might be right, dude.
Yeah,
you might be right.
I got Giants in, Jets out for now.
So when you put it that way, I still think they're both going to miss, but I think the Giants have a better chance.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't think the Jets were there. I didn't think the Jets were there before the season. What's funny is, what did I tell you? I think the Jets are going to end up right where I thought they should before the schedule come out, which was like 8, 9, 9, and 8. That's where they needed to be.
Yeah.
9 and 8 would be good. Would be an improvement.
Yeah, but still a huge quarterback question.
Huge. Unless things change. I mean, listen, there's a lot of season left, so maybe
fair.
Things change. Things change all the time, dude. Guys grow. Look at Geno Smith. He grew. So guys can grow.
A while to do it too.
And listen, I saw Zach Wilson in the post game. He was pissed. This is not a guy who doesn't care. So he I don't care what anybody, you can say what you want. Colin Cowherd is an idiot, tries to call him like Johnny Manziel. Like, he is totally not. Manziel never wanted to put in the work. This kid works relentlessly. He doesn't have anywhere near the attitude.
Colin's got to retire at this point.
Dude, he doesn't even know. He's real. I'm telling you, since he got his last contract, he doesn't even know guys who are on the team. He called a guy. He said the Bears are improving. They got this guy Alexander. There's no Alexander even on the team. Like, he literally just made a name up, and you just start to look like a jackass because you got the money and you end the show and you go out to dinner. You know, you go have drinks. You know what I mean? You're kind of feeling who you are. You don't bring anything to the table anymore. So, I don't see that with Zach Wilson. I see a guy who works hard, tries hard, puts in the time, and cares. I don't see Johnny Manziel. So could he change? Yeah. But there needs to be some real changes. You know, it is what it is. Yep. I like him. Love him coming out. But I'm not going to lie to you. I see what I see.
College week 9 in the rearview mirror?
Yes. Talk about getting late early.
Yeah. November football's here, brother.
Yeah, three major weeks of the season.
This is where the rubber meets the road, as they say.
Yep. We got some
Georgia, Tennessee, and Michigan all win big. We'll get into the MSU Michigan debacle in a second.
Florida was one of your picks against Georgia, and Georgia put
by a half a point, baby. Who I covered by a half a point.
Did you cover that?
And you lost a game by half a point.
I lost 2 games by 1 point.
It's
typical.
Penn State hangs tough with the Buckeyes, but at the end of the game, the 27-year-old Sean Clifford, whatever the fuck his name is, stinks.
Too much there. Ohio State is one of the best teams in the country. It is what it is.
Didn't that game feel weird at noon, though, to you?
Didn't like it. Yeah,
right?
Didn't like it. Needed to be at night. Poor scheduling. Listen, this division and the college football playoff is going to come down to Ohio State-Michigan game. I mean, it's going to be a huge game. Yeah. That's all that matters now. Neither one of those teams is going to lay an egg at this point.
Georgia, Tennessee tonight, too. Or this weekend.
Yeah, no, I'm saying as far as like the Big Ten side of it. Like that division, the only thing that matters anymore is that game. Because all the other teams are second rate. They're not on the level.
Michigan does have Illinois the week before, which could
They're not going to lose that game. They're not going to lay an egg.
Well, I think
it could be a tough game.
I think Illinois is a great story, but I don't know if they got the horses to play with them.
No, they don't. Yeah. They don't. Not this year. Michigan's really good. Ohio State's really good.
Yeah. Speaking of our boy Mike Gundy, what the fuck happened there?
He gets shut out.
48-0.
It's Kansas State?
Yeah.
Was that one of your picks?
No,
I thought, okay. Yeah, I texted you that one. I'm like, I don't understand. What happened?
I don't know.
State's not that good. They're a pretty good team. They shocked us when they beat Oklahoma, but what the hell?
I don't know, man.
Jesus Christ. That's pretty crazy. That's a bad loss. So that's the kind of loss that takes you out of a New Year's Day game.
Oh.
You're not playing on New Year's Day anymore.
No,
they probably were before.
They're going to be playing December 27th and the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah.
At 10 o'clock at night.
Bowl.
So I brought this up a little while ago. For those of you who have not seen it, Michigan State and Michigan got into a
Well, really, Michigan State.
Well, really, Michigan State really got into a brouhaha with two Michigan players. They
was it two? I thought it was just one.
Well, one of them was trying to help the other one out, and he got a little scratnal, So Michigan State, four guys got suspended. Now 4 more got suspended yesterday.
I thought it was 2 more, so it was 4 more.
Yeah, so now it's 8 total.
It's embarrassing.
Swinging helmets, kicking, absolutely jumping a guy for walking into his own tunnel, basically. And listen, there's chirping that goes on all the time. Don't give me this fucking shit about, you shouldn't be able to talk. Dude, you beat your rival. You get your trophy back. Dude, you can chirp. You can't assault a guy.
Yeah, and even if you're going to start swinging, this was like street gang shit. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing. Those guys shouldn't just be suspended. They should be off the team. I'm sorry. That's just
scholarship's gone. I agree.
Yeah, they should be gone. Period. End of story. And I don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh, the chirping." Dude.
Yeah.
If you think there was chirping in the locker on the way to the locker, you've never stepped on a football field. It's disgusting. Okay, let me just explain to you,
dude. Seriously,
it's disgusting. If you, I can't even fully explain it. You can't imagine. You cannot imagine. Think of the worst things that could possibly be said to somebody. Multiply that by 1,000, and that scratches the surface of what gets said on a football field. It's disgusting, and it's just part of the game. So there's zero excuses for it. And if you can't tolerate it, stay off a football field and stay out of the locker rooms, because that's the way it is. This is manly men. So I don't want to hear about the patriarchy and toxic masculinity. Fuck off. That's what makes football so great. Okay. You love the physicality of it. You love the high end, the speed, the brutality. Guess what comes along with that? Some really disgusting things get said. And guess what the funny thing is? The guys in the field, this is part of it, dude. So I don't want to hear that shit that he had it coming or any of that because of what he said. Bullshit. Because if that was the case, there'd be brawls breaking out 50 times a game, minimum.
Yep.
So stop it.
Week 10 preview. I'm going to start with the disappointing bowl, I'm going to call it. The Florida Gators at the Texas A&M Aggies.
Yeah, 2 teams that were expected to do better that are not. I think Texas A&M is favored in this game. Did they win last week? Did Texas A&M win last week?
No, they lost to your Fighting Lane Kiffins by 3.
That's right. It was a tough game, close game. Yeah, you're right. Good point. It's a disappointing game. But listen, both teams, in the end, you want to make it to a bowl game. Because, you know, if you don't make it to a bowl game, then your recruiting basically ends there. You want to be able to.
Your recruiting for your takes a shit, dude.
It takes a total shit.
And also, too, you get 15 more practices, bro. That's fucking enormous.
Absolutely. And you get to bring kids in to watch practices and participate and be part of it, and then have them come to the bowl game. Like, you have to make it to a bowl game. So as much as we say, this doesn't matter and bowl games don't matter, don't tell that to the coaches. And frankly, don't tell that to the seniors on the team that are probably never, however, if there's 30 seniors on a team, 28 of them, 27 of them, 25 of them, they're never going to play football again. So it matters to them a lot. Take it from 2 guys who didn't make it to the NFL. I played in college for a while. You finished at high school. You'd give anything for one more game at any point. You'd give. I would now. I'm 49 years old. I'd give anything to play one more game. So don't tell me it doesn't matter. It does. And for recruiting, forget it. It's huge. You get a whole nother month of recruiting.
Definitely.
You don't want to shut that shit down in November.
Yeah, it's a lot more difficult to please come to school here than actually showing them why you should come to school.
Plus, some of those guys are still playing. Some of your recruits are still playing football. They can't even come because they're playing. So, dude, you don't want that shit. Not good.
Baylor Bears at Oklahoma. Another kind of a weird game here, man.
It is. We were talking about this game maybe 3 weeks ago as because Oklahoma went 3 games in a row, giving up 50 points, getting just obliterated. They've kind of
settled down a little bit,
righted the ship a little bit. A tough game. Baylor's an explosive offense. They got a good head coach, been there for a couple years now. I think Oklahoma's favored, but I don't know if I like that idea. Is the game in Oklahoma?
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably the only reason they're favored, because Baylor is a way more explosive football team. And don't be surprised Baylor wins that game.
The game of the week, so far the game of the year, number 1 Tennessee at number 3 Georgia. I know.
Do you think before the season started you'd be saying that?
No, sir.
Is it deserved?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd have to say so too. Yes. Even though I don't necessarily think they're the number one team in the country. I think as far as the way we do rankings, they've beaten everybody in front of them, and the teams that were in front of them are better than anybody that Georgia's played. So, yeah, but here we go. We get to have it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to this game. Is at Georgia, I assume?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, I think Georgia had a little stretch of a couple games, maybe 2 games where their offense looked a little pedestrian. Last week, they definitely picked it up.
Man.
So, and their defense is still good. I've been saying this all year. I don't know how they're doing it on defense, having lost 10 starters. But they are. So I'm fascinated. The whole Hendon Hooker thing, the wideouts that they have, they are super explosive on offense. They're sufficient on defense. Definitely not good on defense, Tennessee, but they're sufficient. Georgia has a weakness. It's their quarterback. And Tennessee can get after the quarterback a little bit. See if they can create a turnover here or there. It's the only way they're going to keep this one close.
Number one team in the country and half-point dogs.
Yep. Unbelievable.
Another good one in the SEC West, Alabama at LSU.
It's funny, the two games you just brought up, I might have a little something to say about.
You're going to the Gold this weekend.
Going all SEC this week, yeah, all SEC. A couple weeks ago, I would have said this is like blowout city. Alabama should win this game. LSU doesn't belong in this game
yet.
But yet. But Alabama hasn't necessarily been a great road team this year.
And their defense isn't exactly killing people either.
Their defense is not what we're used to seeing. And frankly, let's be honest, their offense isn't what we're used to seeing either.
Yeah.
Like Bryce Young has been a little bit banged up.
They don't have their wide receivers that we've seen in the NFL.
They don't have those explosive big play guys. So I'm not sure what to think of this one. Do we believe that LSU, like they've definitely been better than I think most people expected them to. The over and under in the beginning of the season was 6 wins. I think they're already at that.
Yeah, 6-2, I think.
Yeah, they're already at that. So they've already exceeded expectations. We talked about this last week. Brian Kelly's a good football coach. You say what you want. He's a weird dude. That whole Southern accent thing didn't go over very well. Yeah. But once you get on the field and he starts coaching, guy's a really good coach, dude. I would expect them at some point while he's there to win a national championship because that's just that kind of program.
Every coach before him has won it. Les Miles, Nick Saban, and
other than Nick Saban, I think he's better than those guys. And he's a really good recruiter. Yeah. Don't forget. Go look in the NFL over the last 5 years and see how many of those guys are Notre Dame guys. There's a lot of them. Okay,
especially on the offensive line.
Yep. So the guy knows how to recruit and the guy knows how to coach. It's not this year, but don't be surprised in the next 3 or 4 years they win a national championship. Can they compete with Alabama? Maybe for a little while.
Yeah, that night game at home is going to be fun early, I think.
Well, that's why I say there's going to be some juice. And if they can keep the juice rolling, they can keep it close, even within a field goal, within one score, maybe get a couple turnovers to make it interesting. You never know.
Number 24, Texas at number 13, Kansas State.
Yeah, hard team to figure out, man. Listen, Kansas State, I don't really know how they're doing it. They're not known for like being a juggernaut on offense. But they are scoring a shitload of points this year. Texas is weird, right? What do I expect from this game? I expect Texas to be winning the entire game until there's about 2 minutes left. And then I expect Kansas State to come and win the game because that's what Texas does. We talked about this last week. Like Sarkisian has not changed the climate. There have been some changes there. There are clearly talented players.
Yeah.
And Quinn Ewers. This is at Texas. This game at Texas. It's at Kansas State. So he's on he's a young kid on the road again against a team that just has been tearing it up. Is Kansas State undefeated? They can't be undefeated.
No, right? They blew a game to TCU a couple weeks ago. They're up like 17 points and lost.
Yeah, they're winning that game. It's a good football team. So
I have something to say about this game in a little while.
Interesting. I'm actually very intrigued to hear what you have to say about it.
You're very intrigued as in general today, sir.
I am because Texas is like weird. This is a very talented team. It's a very talented team, but they still, after, I don't know, I guess you could say like going on 3-4 years now, they can't finish games. Can they finish?
It might be longer than that.
You might be right.
Number 4, Clemson goes to Notre Dame. I am not a big Clemson fan at the moment, although
neither of us are.
I don't give a shit about the rankings because it's like you said before, it's going to figure itself out.
Part of me hopes that
it just has to win games, but a part of me does wish Notre Dame wins, and that'll be the only time I say that.
Part of me hopes that Clemson runs the table because if they go up against one of these 4 teams, they're going to give up 70. Like they're going to lose like 73-0. Like this is not a good football team, folks.
Dude, why would the committee put them at 4?
You have to,
dude.
I guess you have to, right? They're undefeated. They've won Listen, this is a team who struggled with Wake Forest.
But then you say you have to, and then you just make a point why you don't have to.
They won. I wouldn't. I'm just saying the way they do business.
Syracuse just got run out of their own building by Notre Dame, dude. What do you care? Like,
I
know. That's not even a good win anymore.
I know.
I don't know, bro.
Florida State, is that a good win? They're not a ranked team.
My God.
But they're undefeated. How many undefeated teams are there?
They should. Yeah. 6, I think, right?
Yes. So is there that many?
Well, yeah, we're not counting Tulane. So it's Michigan, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Tennessee, and TCU.
TCU's still undefeated.
Yep.
Wow, they're going to get left out.
Yes, they are.
So we know Michigan and Ohio State, that'll settle
for the second time.
Yeah.
One more for you, just because I want to throw you a bone here.
Don't throw me a bone. I'm not even barely interested in this game.
No. This one I'm going to bring up now.
Yeah, I know.
No buzz at all, Florida State, Miami.
None. That's what I'm saying.
None.
No interest. I'm barely interested. I'm a Florida State fan.
Dude, no buzz.
I was talking to a friend the other night, and I said, this is really pissing me off because I hate Miami. But you know what? You need Darth Vader. You need the Yankees. You need teams that you love. You need the Cowboys. You need the Patriots with Tom Brady. It can't just be teams you like. You need teams to hate. Mm-hmm. And Miami locally are loved as much as anybody, if not more than anybody, but universally hated. And right now they're neither. They're just like, yeah. They're like, don't even show up. Didn't they just get smashed this past weekend again? They just get beat again this weekend?
Bro, they won in like 3 overtimes. They're kicking field goals against Virginia.
Who's got 2 wins.
14-12, dude.
Brutal. This is a bad team.
Oh, am I happy that Michigan OC left? Get the fuck out, bro. Oh, my
It's just bad. And I'm just telling you, I wish it wasn't the case because college football is better when Miami is good, when Florida State is good. You want USC to be good again.
Yep.
You want Texas to be good. Like when these teams are good, college football is more interesting. It spreads across the country instead of all being constant. Right now, college football is the SEC and Big Ten. Nobody else matters.
You're right.
Nobody else matters right now. Everybody else is a second-class citizen, as they should be. But if Clemson, when they play these teams, they're going to get totally exposed.
You're right.
So really, to me, they're not even in a conversation this year. They have been recently, but not this year.
Not even defensively, because defensively they're okay.
They're okay.
Their offense is going to be bad, dude.
Wake Forest scored 30-something points against them.
Dude, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee, TCU, all their offenses score 30-plus on that team.
Right, 40-plus.
And they might not score 17 on those defenses.
I totally agree. They're not anywhere near in the class of any of those teams, which is crazy to say with TCU, but they're not in the class with TCU right now as currently constituted. I think they eventually will be because he's a great recruiter and a good coach, but not right now. No.
So I guess it's time.
But the Florida State Miami game, zero buzz. This in the 90s and even in the early 2000s, this was the game. The 2 biggest games of the year every year that would compete for which was bigger is Ohio State Michigan and Florida State Miami. That was it. Those were the 2 premier games. Ohio State Michigan forever. And in the 90s and early 2000s, late 80s, early 90s, late 80s, all the 90s and early 2000s, it was Florida State and Miami.
Maybe a couple years you throw USC Notre Dame in there, a couple, but not like.
Yeah, but those are just individual years.
Yeah,
that's
true.
One or both, if both were good, you did. For the late 90s, all of the 90s and early 2000s, both Florida State and Miami were still relatively premier programs in the country. You still had Bobby Bowden and then Jimbo Fisher after, but they were still premier.
Yeah.
And they're not. USC hasn't been the same since Pete Carroll left. Texas hasn't been the same since Mac Brown left. So, I want those teams to be good. But this was the game.
Yep.
The game every year. And it has no juice.
And this game's a lot bigger than Florida State, Florida.
Huge. It's more important now because they're both ACC.
Yeah. Yep.
And it has no cachet whatsoever. None.
Sad.
None. Sad. It doesn't matter. Whatever happens doesn't matter.
On to the segment where we should maybe think about ending it. We have been
go opposites
betting here.
Just start going opposites.
I was 1-3 last week, 15, 16-1 overall. Petey was also 1-3 last week, and 11, 20-1 overall.
I'll tell you this, man. You look at the whole stretch.
Yeah, you've had some bad luck.
I've had some really rough luck. Like, I'm talking, how many games did I lose? What's my record? 11, 21?
11, 20-1.
Of those 20 losses, I'll bet you 10 of them were by 1 point or less. Or by 1 point. Like, spread-wise. 1 point or a half a point.
You might be right.
10 of them. So I've run into a little bit of bad luck.
Why don't we change it? Why don't you start us off this week? Let's change the juju. Let's change the juju.
All right, I think that's a good idea. I'm going to head over to the SEC. I told you I had 2 big games in the SEC this week. Fascinating to me that Tennessee gets ranked number 1 team in the country and then immediately go on the road and are 8-point underdogs against Georgia, who won their national championship last year. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I think Tennessee is a very good football team. I think they're improved. I think they're going on the road. I think they keep this game close enough. I think they lose by a touchdown or less. Give me Tennessee +8. I love the number here. I think Tennessee gets their first loss, and it might be their only loss, which only adds to the chaos that is college football, which I'm kind of looking forward to. And then maybe Alabama beats Georgia at some point. But give me Tennessee in a close game, but they will lose in a close game against Georgia. +8.
I'm going to the Big Ten, and not games you might think.
Oh. Minnesota versus Wisconsin.
Close, actually, really close. Maryland at Wisconsin.
There you go. Guys reaching deep into the bag.
The 6-2 Terrapins getting no respect. The Badgers are so
6-2, huh?
So. Yeah.
Well, 6-2. All right.
Not getting a lot of love.
No.
Whiskey is
not
sometimes
that good.
Plays like they're on whiskey.
Yeah.
Quarterback's bad. Good running game. Good line like they always have. The defenses, they gave up like 30-something to Michigan State. Good God. I'm taking Maryland +5 here. You're giving me points.
Where's that game?
It's in Wisconsin.
At Wisconsin.
But when they're not good, they don't really fill that place up, and it's not.
No,
it's
you're
not
right.
as powerful as when they're rocking and rolling. So, give me Maryland +5 in Madison.
I don't mind that pick. There won't even be a weather advantage here because it's still very tempered out. So I'm staying in the SEC. We got LSU getting 14 against Alabama. This game is at LSU, which is why I'm going to take the home dogs here. LSU. You talked about it. It's a night game. This team is much improved. And if there's been like a weakness, we'll say, for Alabama, it's been that they have not played well on the road. Close game against Texas A&M on the road. They lost on the road at Tennessee. They haven't played really well on the road. I'd be stunned if LSU wins this game, but I do think they keep it close. Maybe they lose something like 30-35-28 or 35-24, something like that, and I just think they cover the spread. Give me LSU +14 at home at night. Place will be rocking against Alabama.
I don't know what to think about that game, but I like your reasoning. You just said it before, home dog. Kansas State versus Texas.
I'm dying to hear this.
Normally this game would scare the shit out of me because Kansas State coming off a 48-0 win. No one's as good as their week before. But I don't trust Sark at all. Sark is the college version of me of the guy with the Chargers.
Staley?
He's the Staley to me in college football.
Just good enough to lose.
Kansas State has 2 good quarterbacks. Martinez hasn't played last week. This backup comes in and lights the world on fire.
Clearly.
You said it before, too, about Quinn Ewers. Tough one on the road. I think it's a night game. Manhattan, what do they call it? Little Manhattan, little bit, whatever they call it, the little big city or the little apple. Little Apple. They call it the Little Apple because it's Manhattan, Kansas. Yeah, the Little Apple. Little Apple might be rocking. Give me Kansas State +2.5 at home.
God, it's amazing that they're getting points at home.
I know. And you know what?
Sounds?
The fishy lines for, but like, I know. And I'm going. It didn't work for me last week with Auburn. Those cocksuckers.
Yes, oh my God, you got mauled on that one.
Mauled.
Let's head on over to the NFL. I I kind of alluded to this one earlier on. The Jets are playing at Buffalo.
Wrong. They're playing home against Buffalo.
That's what I mean. They're playing home against Buffalo, getting 11.5 points. What did I say? On the road? I totally meant at home. God, I thought they were on the road because they're getting 11.5. They're getting 11.5 at home. Listen, this is a funny thing here, and this is why. Buffalo does not run the football worth a shit. Josh Allen does, but they don't run the ball worth a shit. And what do the Jets do better than maybe anybody else in the NFL right now is they defend the pass. They have 2 top corners. They got Whitehead as one of the safeties, real physical. And I think maybe, just maybe, they can run the football against Buffalo. If they can do those 2 things, maybe slow Josh Allen down a little bit because they can put Sauce Gardner on Stephon Diggs. I think there's a chance Jets keep this game. Like, I don't mean just kind of close. I mean really close. I can see something like 27-24 Buffalo. Don't be totally blown away if the Jets win this game outright. I'm just telling you, there's something about this. Everybody's shitting on them because of 1 week. This is the natural recency bias that goes on. Buffalo looks a little cocky to me the last couple weeks. This is not the type of team that they want to see, a team that can get after the quarterback and cover one-on-one on the outside and who can run the football up front with a physical running game. Jets could win this game outright, but I'm certainly happy to take the Jets plus 11.5 at home against the Buffalo Bills.
Well, this saddens me a little bit, my friend. The Dan Campbell train, I think, for both of us is now over.
For sure.
I think his real time as an NFL coach is almost over.
Say the real question is, does he have a job at the end of the season? And I'm not sure of that either.
I said this line to you before. It's getting late early for the Packers. They're only given 3.5 at Detroit. I know they haven't looked good. Detroit can score at some point, and at some points they go 3 and out like 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
I think this is an Aaron Rodgers game where he's like, I own the Lions. The Lions don't scare me. It's inside. There's going to be a ton of Packer fans there. I think they might put the nail in Campbell's coffin. Give me the Packers minus 3.5 at Detroit.
I kind of like this one too. It's very early to say must win, but if you're the Packers and you want to make the playoffs and you see the Vikings like 3 games out in front right now because they beat you head to head.
Correct.
If you want to make the playoffs, this is a game you have to win, like have to win. So I saw an Aaron Rodgers coming out of this last game, little different attitude, a little more.
Yep.
It looks like a guy who's got a little bit of a fire under his ass. He's like, shit, like we better get going. So I kind of like this pick by you. That's a good one here. I don't know what to think about this one, but to be honest with you, I couldn't come up with too many other games. So
the one you talked yourself into 10 minutes ago?
No, not the Rams. I'm going to stay off of it because it wasn't one of my picks, although I do like the Rams now a lot. We talked about the Chargers in Atlanta, like how Atlanta has played very well considering what we expected of them this year. This was a team that we were thinking was kind of like tanking. They're not. They play hard. They're not a good defensive team, but they play hard on defense, which is they're kind of like last year's Detroit Lions, except they win sometimes. That's the difference. This is a team that plays very hard. They're well coached. They're not very talented, but they're well coached. But year after year after year, we're told that the Chargers have a great roster, that the Chargers have the great quarterback, that the Chargers have a good coach. It's time for them to show it. I know they're banged up. I know they're missing a couple guys, but you still have one of the top quarterbacks in the league. You have to go out and beat a team that you're supposed to beat. You're favored by a field goal. Go win by a touchdown. Give me the Chargers -3 against the Atlanta Falcons.
Man, your balls are big today. That's oof.
They got to win. These are must-win. That's a must-win game.
I can't trust the Chargers, but I hear you. Monday night, you said you were intrigued. Nothing like the Superdome on a Monday night game. Electric.
Yes.
I think their defense, as you stated before, are going to do their best to contain Lamar. He has 0 weapons on the outside. Mark Andrews, if he plays, is banged up.
Right.
Run game's suspect other than Lamar.
Suspect. Which has never been the case since he's been there.
I know the Ravens have an extra couple of days because they played last Thursday night. But something's telling me here the Saints are starting to glue it together a little bit here. I think they got a little confidence going. I think addition might by subtraction. Michael Thomas being gone.
Get that out of the way.
Distraction gone. No more bullshit. Yeah. Olabi's playing great. Taysom Hill's doing his thing again. They got him in the right situation.
Yep.
Give me the Saints plus 2.5 at home Monday night.
I like that one. All right, so I got in college football, I got Tennessee, the number 1 ranked Tennessee Volunteers getting 8 against Georgia, and the Tigers of LSU plus 14 at home against Alabama. I think they're going to keep that close. I don't think they win the game, though. And in the NFL, give me the Jets plus 11. Maybe they win that thing outright, but I think they keep it to a touchdown or less against Buffalo. And give me the Chargers, the totally unpredictable Chargers, minus 3 at Atlanta. It's a must-win for the Chargers if they're even going to consider sniffing the playoffs.
In college football, I got the Maryland Terrapins plus 5 at Wisconsin. I have the Kansas State Wildcats plus 2.5 in the Little Apple against Texas. Green Bay Packers minus 2.5 at Detroit, and the New Orleans Saints plus 2.5 at home versus the Ravens on Monday night.
Nice. All right. Well, the Yankees might not be in the World Series, but there are 2 teams in the World Series, and we got the Phillies and the Astros. We got kind of like a David and Goliath situation going on here, with the Phillies made it after being one of the worst teams in the league in the first couple of months of the season, peaked at the exact right time, reminiscent of a couple years ago when Washington did something very similar. Played really poorly early, but came on late.
Atlanta last year did the same thing. It might be an Atlanta last thing.
Year.
The Mets have not got the memo yet.
Yep, it's all about getting hot at the end of the season. Astros, what? Do they have the best pitching staff? Well, certainly one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. Good lineup. As we sit here today, series is tied at 2. Astros just pulled off a combined no-hitter last night against the Phillies, but I think the Phillies – listen, if you're a Phillies fan and you came into this series and somebody told you after 4 games you're going to be tied at 2, you'd be ecstatic.
Yep.
Because you got 1 more home game and then 2 on the road. So, what do you think about what you're seeing so far?
Well, it's funny, Tuesday night, I guess it was. Lance McCullers, they said, was maybe tipping his pitches because like these guys were teeing off on him, and they were hitting missiles off
and
this guy. And
you saw Bryce Harper go to one of his teammates and whisper something. Who knows? But it clearly worked because he then
first
sent
pitch,
one out
boom.
So see you. He must have been tipping things off.
I think Houston has the better club. I think they win the next 2. I think Verlander's been bad in the World Series, but I think he's too much of a veteran. And I hope I will never root for the Astros, but
no.
There's something wrong with Noah Syndergaard. I don't like him at all either. So I think he pitches well tonight, and I think they go back home, and I think they take 1 of 2. But you want to get it done faster sooner than later.
Phillies win tonight. Do you think they have a real chance of winning a series? Let's put it this way: Phillies win tonight. Who wins the series?
Astros win the series still,
no matter what.
But I don't know. It's tough.
Next question.
Because now you get Philly's best 2 pitchers in 6 and 7. So, I guess you got to give him a shot for sure. Yeah.
Next question. Is Bryce Harper the face of Major League Baseball right now?
No.
Who is?
Might be Ohtani.
I heard that said today, and this is going to come across as racist, but it's totally not. Do you really think an Asian player who's not like, how do we say it? Like,
well, they do their best to fucking market him, dude. They never, never marketed Mike Trout like that, and it's a fucking disaster that they didn't.
I totally agree with you, but he's not like verbal. I'm trying to say he's not like real verbal.
Yeah.
Like you don't get to hear from him a lot. Whereas Bryce Harper is a great player. He's not even a great player. He's banged up all the time, but he comes up in big spots. I don't know. I'm not talking about who's the best player in the league.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm
just saying like this. I guess if it was like the cover of EA Sports 23 baseball, is it Bryce Harper?
I think there's
because he's more relatable. I guess
now he will be too because they went to the World Series and stuff. Yeah. I don't do. There's a couple guys.
He comes up in big spots though. If you're not in the playoffs ever, it's hard for you to be the face of the league.
That's the guy. That's the guy. Cashman didn't want. We just remember that fucking guy.
Who?
Harper.
Yeah. You know what? I don't blame him so much for that.
Oh, stop it! Get on the Cashman hate train.
No, I don't like Cashman. I think it's time to go. Hey, listen, if we're gonna do analytics, then it's the GMs that have to go. That's just how I feel about it. He's had a hell of a run. There's no shame in it. Been there for a long time. You've made these decisions. Time to go. But as far as that goes, I didn't think they should either because of the money they were asking for. And the guy's hurt all the time. Listen, he missed a big, huge chunk of this season.
I think I think.
But he's a big time. He's a prime time player. He shows up in prime time games a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
He was not part of that Washington season, though, was he?
No,
he was not.
Nope.
He had already been traded.
Yep, or left free agency, I think. Whatever it was.
Oh, it was free. Okay.
Listen, I think you got to put Trout in here. Not Trout, Judge. I think Judge is one of the faces of baseball.
I think you're probably right. Yeah, Judge definitely goes there because of
New York.
home runs. Yeah.
There's a couple guys, man. DeGrom with the Mets, you could argue a little bit, not as much because
it's tough with a pitcher.
And I think it's kind of like he missed a lot of time lately too, so I think he kind of fizzled
out
a little bit.
It's tough with a pitcher. They're only out there every fifth day, kind of thing.
Yeah, so there's a couple guys. I think that's what's like. It hurts baseball, but also it's coming back a little bit because now baseball's you got a little bit more exciting players now.
This happens.
Guerrero Jr. with the Blue Jays.
We all notice that like the regular season is, I don't want to say boring, but it's long. It's long. You don't feel the need to watch every game, but man, playoff baseball is something else. Yeah, it's really good stuff. The intensity is there. It's very similar to like a playoff hockey, but like every run seems to be like huge.
Mm-hmm.
Even in a 5-0 game, like every run seems to be huge.
Yep.
So, all right, I kind of think Philly's going to win this series. I think sometimes the right team gets on the right roll at the right time, and I think it's hard to stop that. So.
I see your boy Mikey Dean's losing it on Facebook, and they win, they lose. He
loses his mind. He gets a Mike Dean from Dean Dome Sports. Yeah, he loses it a little bit. All right, 86 in the book, my man. Who you got today?
I only have two for you, real quick. Number 2, Super Bowl champion, 3-time Pro Bowler, former Eagles and current Cardinal tight end Zach Ertz. And number 1, one of the toughest men ever to play football. A little dirty, but fun to watch. 2-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, 4-time Pro Bowler. Former Steelers wide receiver Hines Ward.
Oh, very good player. We just had Halloween. Are you a big Halloween fan? Did you dress up at all?
I did not dress up at all. I actually blew off 2 parties to watch the Wolverines play the Spartans on Saturday night, and I'm damn proud of that. I don't care what anybody said.
Well, do you decorate your house at all? Do you? No. Does anybody in your
neighborhood I like Halloween.
Decorate? Yeah,
they do, but it's not like it used to be at all. It's just.
I get a kick at it. I take my kids out trick or treating. Took my son out, and I am so impressed with people's the decorations they put up for Halloween, because when you see the Christmas decorations, they go up like the day after Thanksgiving, and they're up for a month. You know what I mean, or maybe more than a month.
New Year's Eve weekend.
But for Halloween, it's a very small window. You get like for the real serious ones, it's kind of one night, and the next day they're already taking it down because people are thinking Thanksgiving. Well, this Maryland family wanted to do something very similar. They wanted to put up some like real serious Halloween decorations. So they actually rented a casket, like a what do you call it? Like a fake casket or prop casket, right? And they went to set this thing up. And when they set it up for this Halloween party, they found a dead woman's belongings inside, including what they suspected were her ashes.
Ooh.
How about that one? The Wozniak family said they had ordered the casket from Facebook Marketplace, and after the discovery, family took to TikTok to share the bizarre episode in hopes of returning the items of the deceased family.
Wow.
Other items that were found, taped underneath cardboard of the casket inside, include photographs, her death certificate, her social security number, and a George Washington University hospital bracelet. So this was not a prop. They actually had someone's actual casket that apparently didn't make it into the ground.
Crazy shit.
That's what I want to know. Where's the lady?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the urn.
Were those her ashes that were in there? And it was just, and then it becomes a prop. Unbelievable. So
that's a little creepy.
Be careful with your rentals, folks. Check out, make sure, Facebook Marketplace might not be the best place to get these things. So good show, my man. We'll get this out there quick as we can. For Scott Bracey, I'm Pete Colasano. You've been listening to Bump and Run. We'll catch you guys next week.
Later.
All right.
Oh, perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Good shit.
1:17, right? Hour and 17 minutes. Cool. All right. Enjoy the game.
Thank you, brother.
Text me and let me know how it goes.
I will.
Say hello to Tommy Ford and tell him I'm proud of him.
I will. Definitely will, man.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Later, pal.
Bye.